Welcome to Grace. We're glad you're here. We started with a ministry philosophy of joyful worship, earnest prayer, and community outreach.
We've always been a pretty service-oriented church and always trying to find people on the edges of society and on the edges of Christianity. As far as the Renewal Lab, best parts about the Renewal Lab were that the structure is there for any size church, any church at all to be successful in it.
When we had the opportunity to work with the Church Renewal Lab, and I would say some of the most helpful parts of the Renewal Lab for me were the tools that they gave us to work with. They had a toolkit, and every time we had an interaction, they would remind us of some of the tools in our toolkit, one of which was listening to God, listening to our congregation, listening to the community, really seeking where God might be leading Grace Fellowship. And I found that to be very helpful. Chris and Larry were very encouraging. They were very experienced. They gave wise counsel. It was good to see that there were other churches and to connect through our internet meetings with people from other congregations around the United States and to hear some of the things that they were experiencing also. It was helpful to know that this is a long process. I mean, this isn't just going to happen overnight or in 2 years, but that it's a 3 to 5 year process. So we're still in the early stages, but I feel like I can already see God at work. God has always been at work in our church, but to have maybe a little clearer picture of where God might be leading us. We've revised our mission statement and our vision statement. All ages, all cultures, all in for Jesus, joining God in His work in this world. It's encouraging to me to be reminded that God is already working and we are just joining Him.
And I hope that we are changing that. That's what I want to see change the most, is that we become more like Jesus. I don't want other people to see the church as rigid, being who they were 50 years ago, but that we become more accepting and more giving and more wanting to be like Christ. Because as I'm reminded, the people that I work with are the broken and the downtrodden, the poor, the sick. Those are the people Jesus went to. Those are the people Jesus used. And that's what I would like our church to become more like, that we are a hospital. We are the accepting and the inviting force, inviting them to Jesus' family, to become a part of something that is wonderful and loving and life-changing.
And so we've seen some new things. We started an ELL class that's had great success. We've seen some Latinos attend some of our quarterly intercultural events that we've initiated. And we've also ushered in a new refreshment of our teams, where we had a season where we stopped all of our ministry teams just to ask God, okay, Lord, where are you actually calling us and leading us to serve with passion, not just out of duty, but out of a heart to serve? And so we entered that season, and then we had an onboarding where we retrained our leaders with fresh expectations and guidelines. And now we're entering in a new ministry season afresh with our new mission and our new vision in alignment.
Through the Renewal Labs, we refreshed our vision, which is really to make disciples and be involved in bringing heaven to earth and awakening faith, hope, and love in others, in ourselves and others. And we were able to boil that down to a motto that we're now using: all ages, all cultures, all in for Jesus. And we see our work with the Renewal Labs as being the precipitate of that work that now is going to be part of our ministry. And we just kicked off our youth ministry in the last couple of weeks, and we have 18 plus kids from all ages, all grades, many who are not regular parts of our Sunday morning church, and they are learning about Jesus, and they are calling our church their home, and they are making professions of faith and taking steps of discipleship with Jesus. And that's extremely encouraging. And my hope is that that engine, that steamroller continues.